Thank you for joining us today. Today, we're going to be talking with Mike Brueggemann, who is one of the national account managers at College Recruiter, who's going to talk to us about targeted banners. So, Mike, what exactly are targeted banners?
Yeah, that's a great question. So I think a lot of people in the marketing and HR space are familiar with what targeted banners are. Basically, it's a great way to communicate your message to an audience that's probably a little bit more passive than the standard linear path of posting a job posting and having candidates seek out your position. So it gives you some exposure. And the targeted banners operate in a couple of different ways. I think most people are familiar with Google and Facebook and what their methodology is. So to explain a little bit of the difference about College Recruiter's targeted banners, we'll kind of walk through what Google uses as an ad platform and what Facebook uses as an ad platform, and how they differ from how we deliver our banners. So when you look at Google, and they're both great in their respective right because they get to a large audience and they get the message out there. So it's great for branding for employers. With Google, what you're typically going to see is we like to identify targeted banners as right opportunity, right person, and right time. And what we mean by that is we have a lot of data on these individuals so that we know that they're the right person. We know that they're in the educational field or occupational field that you're looking for. We know that they're in the location that you're hiring for the position. And it's the right time because we're displaying the message while they're using the internet to research or find more about that occupational field that they're interested in. So with Google, what you typically find is that it is the right opportunity because they collect a bunch of information, as we all know Google is capable of doing. So it's the right opportunity, and it's the right time because they can display it based on the content that you're reading. But oftentimes it can be the wrong person. And what we mean by that is when we use contextual-based banners, the wrong person, it can be that they search on Google for accounting is how they'll basically identify this person because they might have gone online and researched, is my book supplies at school, is that tax deductible? So when they Google that, that identifies that person with accounting. When we know that that person probably isn't an accountant or an accounting major because they would probably know the answer to that question. Whereas Facebook, on the other hand, it's definitely the right person because they have all of your demographics. You've given a ton of information to them. And it's definitely the right opportunity because that ties in with the information that you've shared with them. But we consider that to be maybe the wrong time that they're displaying the ad. So when someone's looking at cute kitty videos on Facebook, they're not necessarily in the mindset of career-related opportunities being exposed to them. So it's the difference between right opportunity, right person, at the right time. And so at College Recruiter over the past couple of years, we've developed a targeted banner methodology where we deliver it right person, right opportunity, at the right time. So we know their educational study and what their occupational field will be. We know where they're located. And we're only going to be displaying the ad when they're actually looking at something or researching something online that's related to their education or occupational field. So you're going to have a much higher click-through rate, and you're not going to be burning through banners that are being deployed to people that really aren't going to have an interest in your position. So in a nutshell, that's kind of how our targeted banner methodology works, and we typically see double the click-through rate because of the way we deploy them. It's just a far more efficient methodology to get your banner ads exposed to the right person at the right time, and it's the right opportunity.
Great, great. So if I am an employer, why would I be interested in targeted banners?
Yeah, so there's a couple of different reasons employers will come to us for banner ad campaigns. Typically what you're going to find is the most common one is going to be, it's a big branding initiative. You know, the side effect is obviously that you're going to have a lot of click-throughs for people to apply to your positions, but a lot of the times the banners, you're going to be delivering so many impressions. What I'll typically see employers use it for is if they're opening, say you're a retail store and you're opening in a new market where you maybe don't have a ton of brand exposure within that geographic area, and you might have a large competitor who kind of owns that market share. Banner advertisements are great for two things. It brands your company within that locale to get your name out there to people who are in that career field, but then the side effect is obviously going to be that they're going to click through to apply to your opportunities. So there's a branding component to banners, which really is what drives what most employers will use a banner ad campaign for. It's an employment branding mechanism that also has a great side effect of reaching the targeted audience you want and having them apply to your positions.
Okay. So with your most recent client who purchased or did a banner ad campaign, can you explain the process from start to finish?
Yeah, absolutely. So we have relationships with a bunch of advertising agencies. So the most recent one actually came from an advertising agency, and it was one of the largest specialty retailers in the U.S. And our relationship with ad agencies kind of come into play because they really understand the difference between our banner ad delivery system and a couple of other ones that are out there that we talked about earlier, where it's the right person, right opportunity at the right time. So they'll come to us because they know that our response rates are really, really high, and they also know that we're really targeting to the right people, so the branding is great. So we'd been approached with an advertising agency who'd worked with us pretty extensively for this particular company, and they came to us and they let us know that they were looking for a position that was kind of outside of the realm of their typical hiring needs, and they were in locations where they didn't have a super strong presence. So their approached us, told us the position that they were looking for, the ideal demographic behind that, what were their studies, where are they going to be located, and we kind of built the banner ad campaign around that. So at that point, we kick it back to the ad agency. We tell them, how many banner ad impressions we can deploy, what their anticipated click-through rate's going to be. They went to the client, helped develop creative, got the creative back to us, and within a 1-week turnaround time, we were able to deploy the banner ads to a specifically targeted audience that they were looking for. So from start to finish, you're going to engage with a national account manager at College Recruiter. Tell us exactly what you're looking for. We're going to actually run that through our database system, get it ready to deploy with our network of partnership sites. And we can either help you with the creative, which is definitely something we don't do often, but we can help someone if their marketing team doesn't have specific collateral. And we can help you guide you through what the pixel sizes would need to be for the best results, whether that's mobile, display, if you're doing it on a desktop. We can walk you through that. And our implementation team essentially sends a kit with everything that we need to actually have the banners deployed. So with ad agencies, they're typically going to turn that around very quickly because they're accustomed to that process. Well, with direct customer sales, we're definitely going to be able to help them through the process and the checklist to make sure we can deploy it as quickly as possible.
Well, Mike, that certainly gave a great explanation to what banners are, and especially when you said reaching the right candidate at the right place at the right time. So timing is everything. So, Mike, thank you so much for your time today, and hope you'll join us again soon.
Thank you very much for having me.